Hello. I want to take a minute to go over some functionality added to the 4.36 release, which is our September 2021 release. Specifically, I'd like to talk about sizing by lot sizing attribute. A couple of releases ago, we added the ability to define an attribute to a component, to an ingredient in a formula, that allows you to vary the quantity for a specific batch based on the lot strength of that specific lot. In this example, I've got an item out here, DCRMO2, that I have a lot attribute associated with it. There are videos showing how this can be done, but just very briefly, I've got an attribute that's defined against this item for percent solids. It happens to be a QC test that I enter in my quality system, but that becomes a piece of data associated with this individual lot. And so in this case, my solids value is what I'm wanting to size this ingredient. So if I've got more solids for this lot, I need to put less of that ingredient in because it's carrying more solids than I expected. Otherwise, conversely, if it has less solids in it, I need to put more of that product in. And this box is activated by, say, setting as a size attribute. Now let's actually look at that in operation. So I've got that item set up as it has a sizing attribute on its lots for percent solids. If I just double click on it, I'll see my lots that are available. And here's that percent solids value. In my case, came from my quality module, but I could just key it in as well in the lot attributes table. In this case, my standard is 95. In other words, I build my formulas around solids of 95. In this case, this lot is a 97. In other words, it's got more solids per pound, or in this case, kilo, than typical, if you will, or based on my formula is based on. So I can define how much goes into this batch based on the amount of solids. So in this case, I need 42.96 kilos of this item. That's the solids value, or poor choice of words. That's the kilos that gets me to the solids that I'm expecting. But if I use this lot to do this, I actually wouldn't put in 4.96. I'd actually put in 42.08. So I put in less kilos because I've got a higher solids value. Now that works great if you're coming in and doing if you use this scenario and you're trying to identify how much you should put in a batch, and then you go weigh it out to that. It starts to fall apart a little bit when you get into scenarios where you're going to put in an actual quantity. You know the quantity you put in, and you don't want it to adjust based on the solids. So in this case, if let's just say that I want to put in 4.96 and that's all, and I don't care what my solids are, I can actually override the setting and say, no, go ahead and just use this one. And it's actually going to be putting in 4.96, which was the original value. Now note, we're also showing you here's an effective quantity. So based on the solids value, you're actually putting in 43.87 kilos worth of product just from a solids perspective. So you're still able to see that, but what we're going to bring back to the batch is the actual quantity that you originally needed. So this what we added in this functionality is really this size by lot sizing attribute override, because the feedback that we got after doing the lot sizing is it really worked great for 90% of the time, but that 10% of the time we were causing a lot of trouble. So for those clients that needed that, they're now able to turn off that lot sizing functionality just for the time being, and it goes right back to being checked for subsequent transactions, etc. Anyway, this is basically a response to feedback that you all gave us. We really appreciate that, and if you all come up with anything else that we might be able to help you with, please let us know. Thanks a lot and have a great day.